Hi, welcome to Qlikview, part 11 of this video series. In this session, we are going to look at how to create a variable and how many types of variables are available in Qlikview and what is the scope of each and every type of a variable and how to use these variables for enabling and disabling the Qlikview sheet objects. Right? So let's switch to Qlikview desktop quickly. So I'm going to create a new document. So as usual, it allows me to start with getting started wizard. So to disable that, we have to go to user preferences. Shortcut for that is Control Alt U, and then disable this show getting started wizard. Right, and so I have created a new document. Let's save this as variables demo. Right. So I'm gonna load some data, and then we'll start working with the variables. So table file, I have some sales data here. Yes, use that. Let's finish, and let me specify some name, sales underscore data. Right, so let's reload to fetch the data. Go to edge script window. Now you can see here there are some lines of code that is being added automatically while creating the document. So in the script session, so these are called as environmental variables. Right, so what these environmental variables do actually, and why these are required. So these environmental variables depends on what. Okay, so environmental variables are must, and if you remove these variables, they'll be automatically added by Qlikview while executing the particular application, or else while reloading it. So suppose if you remove this one, and it will automatically add it. Right, so and these variables will be encountered in the first tab of the script editor. And what is the purpose of these variables? So these variables are usually used to set certain parameters, certain standard parameters in Qlikview. So if you see, the set is a keyword because it's in blue color, and there is a name and followed by a value assigned to that. So here the set is a variable type. So Qlikview has two variables, one is set, another one is let. Okay, we'll see the difference, but we'll look at these set variables and environmental variables first. So set 1000 separator comma. So most of the Asian countries and USA and other some of the or a few European countries use 1000 separator, and some part of the world uses dot or else full stop as 1000 separator. So if whenever you are loading a data and you're working with the data sets, if it finds thousands, then it will add the comma symbol automatically to separate the thousands. And same as decimal. So in some countries, for the decimal symbol, they use comma instead of a dot. Right, so, and money separator as well, money thousand separator, and money decimal separator, and as well as money format. So as I'm in India, the symbol is automatically added as rupee symbol. So if you're from USA and you're using it, that you're install the software under US, then it will automatically be converted into a dollar symbol. Then you have a time format, that is hours, minutes, and seconds, and a date format. So whenever I'm installing, I have selected other, so it is stating my region as the Asian states, Asian countries, so that the automatical format, the date format would be date, month, and year. So DD, MM, Y, 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 Y. Okay, so let's look at the time format. So if you have a timestamp, then in that case, how this would be there? So it is DD, MM, Y, 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 and along with HH, MM, and SS. Remember here, small mm is for indicating minutes, and here capital MM is indicating for month number. So if you want a month name, add 3 M's over there. Okay. And how month names are indicated here? You can see the 3 character month names: Jan, Feb, March, APR, MAY for May. So then short names, and as well as day names as well, right? So the day starts with Monday. If you want this to be started with Sunday, then just switch the Sunday from here to here. Then the day will be automatically, I mean, the day one would be Sunday. Okay, so these are the environmental variables. So whenever you're working with certain data format which are related to specified environmental variables, then automatically these symbols or these formats will be taken into consideration, right? So now let's look at different types of variable. So usually set is for assigning a value or a formula to a particular variable name. Okay, let's see that. So now I'm going to create a variable set v. So remember the naming convention. So set, and the first letter should be small v, and then followed by a meaningful name related to that particular variable and the variable which you are using for the context. So here in my case, I'm going to evaluate something. So v eval equals to 1 plus 2, right? Remember, Qlikview uses ampersand for appending. Okay, so 1 plus 2 is nothing but it is supposed to be evaluated, but it won't evaluate because it is a set. So the 1 plus 2, it will treat the set variable treats assigned value or else assigned text as a string, right? Let's reload the document. So now I'm going to create a text object, go to new sheet, and then text object, so equals to veval. So here it is giving 1 plus 2. Let's create another type of variable called let in the backend. Let v eva 2 equals to 1 plus 2. Then now reload it. Let's create another text object. So I'm doing just hold the control button and then select the particular object and drag it to there, so it will copy the object. Now here I'm going to use eval 2, right? So here the eval 2 is evaluate the expression and then store the results in the variable. And here in eval, so the variable set variable has just taken the string into consideration. So then if I want to evaluate it, how to do that? So for that we have to use a $sign expansion. Means adding a dollar in front of this along with braces will evaluate the expression. If you click on apply, you can see the value. Means the $sign is going to evaluate whatever there in the eval. Means so the set variables are useful to place or else to hold strings or some kind of expressions. The let variables are useful to evaluate expressions and store those values inside the variable which you have defined. So this is what the major difference is. Set let will evaluate the assigned expression, set will store the assigned value to it. Okay, and now so this is how we can create the variables in the backend. So in the script pane. Now let's go to front end. So there is a provision in Qlikview to add a variable in the front end as well. How to do that? So let's go to settings, There you can find variable overview window. So shortcut for this is Control Alt V for variables. So here you can see whatever I have created in the back end, so those are already here in the front end, right? So those variables will be fetched automatically into front end. So now you can see here the eval2 means it is a let type variable which has evaluated the expression assigned to it and stored it into eval2 means the variable. And the first one is a set variable means it is taking that as a string. Now how to create the same kind of variables in the front end? So let's add v set today, and here I'm going to write a function called today which is there in Qlikview. This is one type of variable, right? I'm going to add one more variable. Click on add, type your variable name, we let today. This is going to be a variable name, and then you have to give a definition for the variable. And remember that you can give comments for each and every variable for for what purpose this is being created. Okay, so this is a metadata kind of thing. And in the definition, I'll place equals to, and then I like today function, and then press OK to add those variables. Now in total I have 4 variables, right? Let's check out front end variables. So I just dragged it, go there, and we set today. This is the variable. So now you can see the string. So means if I'm not assigning a equals to symbol, if I'm not putting an equals to symbol before starting the definition of that variable, it is treating that as a set. Okay, then let's make it we let today. Now you can see the date of today. Means if you are assigning equals to symbol, or else if you are adding equals symbol in to the definition, then it will be like a let. So this is how you can define set and let variables in the front end pane. So if you want to evaluate this to be, if you want to evaluate this expression, then as usual you have to use a $ expansion. So go there and put your variable inside the brackets and add a dollar to it. Then you must be showing the same result here, right? So the first ones are set variables, and these two are let variables that are being created in front end and back end. Now let's see the scope of these variables. So if I have created some variable in the back end, it is available in front end. If I have created a variable in the in front end, it is not available in the back end. You have to remember this. Okay, let me try that. So there is a statement called trace, so which is going to display some value in, some display kind of log. So this statement is generally used for tracing the execution processor. Okay, in our case we have a variable in the front end. Let me bring that. So the variable here is we let today, right? Assume that the front end created variables are not going to work in the back end. Now we'll see whether the statement is right or wrong. So this is just closing it. So we have to go to Control Alt U, user preferences, then enable key progress bar, so that once we have reloaded, the document will still wait for us. So we can see the value here, right? Or else let's create a variable and assign this value to it. Then we may find it. So we let we test, then reload it. So script error. Use set. So here this is working fine. So the myth here people will think is whatever we have created in the back end, I mean front end, the variables are not available in the front end, I mean back end. So this is a myth. So actually what are the variables you are creating in the front end, those are also available in the back end if at all you made that as a set type variable. Actually the set and let types are not available in the front end. Okay, so this is just to clear the myth, right? So and then, so variable scoping. So how to make variables cleaner after executing the document? It is, we are seeing it is possible to drop uh, fields. It is possible to drop a table, but is it possible to drop a variable? Let's check that. So I'm going to create another variable e, sorry, we set, let me create above, set v scope, set scope equals to 1, and then I'm going to assign a null value to it again. Okay, and I'm going to create another one, set v let scope equals to t, sorry, today. Let's make this variable as let, because we are going to test let variable scope. Let's assign today to it and then make it null. So let's reload it and then go to Control Alt V, variable over window. There you can see the set scope equals to null, but the let scope is not available. Means if you are assigning a null value to a let variable, so that will be killed internally, so that the variable is not be available, or else no longer it is available in the front end variable overview window. Okay, so this is what the scope of let, and set is available anyway, anywhere, right? So that is a variable scope. And the next one is conditional enabling. So these variables are very much useful in switching between different visualizations in Qlikview. Okay, how to do that? I'll be creating a variable here. So I'm giving a name VCE for conditional enabling. Okay, and then I'm giving a value to it equals to -1. So you know -1 is true in Qlikview. Okay, so here we have few things. Let's take this one. I'll be assigning some color to it. So let's assign green. Okay, and another one is red one. So I have two boxes, two text objects. These are. Now let's check how conditional enabling works. Let's go to properties of that text object. For going to property, right click on the text object and go to properties. There you can find a layout tab here. Click on that layout. You can find show. Under show you can see always and conditional. So always will show that object always, and conditional will make the object available or else make the object visible if the condition returns the true value. So what are the conditions we are going to write in this pane? I mean in this field, it should be returning a true or a false. Must be a boolean value, means 0 or else other than 0. Okay, so let's check. So we have created a variable that is v c e and we have assigned true to it. Then apply. So this is the one with a green color. So true means it should be visible. Then go to properties of the red one, go to layout, and then click on conditional. So there, not VCE means, so VCE has -1, right? Currently VCE has -1, that's why it is returning true. True means this will be visible. Now we are making -1 not of true, means it will be a false. Then click on apply. This object will be disappeared, means it is returning a false value, so the object automatically gets hidden. So go to variable overview window, then select it, make the value as 0 and press OK. Now what should happen? So the green should be hidden and the red should be visible. So this is how conditional enabling will works in Qlikview, right? So that's all for this session. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe.